I'm Mr. Dixon. I work with the Uganda National Apiculture Development Organization as the Executive Director. The Uganda National Apiculture Development Organization, TUNADO, is a member-based beekeepers organization. It unites producers, processors, packers, trainers, equipment makers, and all other stakeholders working in the honey value chain. We are not for-profit organization, and we organize trainings. We build the capacity of persons along the value chain. For example, like here, we have been here for the last 1 week, training different entrepreneurs from different parts of the country. We have 7 districts, as you can see. First, there is high demand for beeswax all over the world. And solar wax extractor is very expensive for a farmer. For example, one costs about 4 million Ugandan shillings. And what we are doing here is to fabricate a beeswax solar wax extractor where a farmer can at least access it at 200,000, so cutting 3.8 million. We're also trying to make bee smokers. Our honey has always been criticized to have a lot of smoke, because usually people, when they are harvesting, they use fire, they end up killing the bees, but also using a lot of smoke that ends up in honey. So what we are trying to do here is train these youths to make smokers so that the beekeepers can start using smoker instead of using fire to harvest. That will reduce the smoke, the amount of smoke in honey, and increase the quality of honey. As we are preparing for export market to the EU, then we are sure we shall be exporting quality honey, because it is only the smoke that has been putting our honey at raw quality. Our honey has always been good when it is tested from the hive, but from the time of harvesting upwards, that's where we start getting problems. So with the smoker, we are very sure that the smoke will be regulated and the honey produced will be good. As you can also see, we are training women entrepreneurs in making bee suits. One of the biggest challenges affecting the beekeeping sector is fear for the bees. Most people fear bees. And when you fear bees, it means you can't engage in this profitable business. So what we are trying to do is train women make these bee suits. A bee suit in Uganda has been costing 250,000. And with this training, the bee suit cost is going to reduce to 100,000. So that is going to be affordable. And these women we are training are from 7 districts of West Nile and Bunyoro. So that means that people in West Nile and Bunyoro, in each of those districts, they will have contacts of where they can be able to buy the bee suits. Also note that because people fear bees, that's why they normally burn. That's why they normally use fire. And when you use fire, you kill bees, you burn the hives, and you don't have business for the next season. But with these bee suits, people will be able to handle the bees gently. They harvest very well, take care of quality, sorting the white combs, sealed combs, and non-sealed combs to increase on the quality without fearing. Because once you're in the bee suit, you are very well protected. You don't need to fear the bees anymore. As you can see also, we are training people on how to make beeswax candles, on how to make lotion, on how to make shoe polish. Because usually people have been harvesting honey and selling their honey with the combs. So meaning they have been losing money in combs. Others, whenever they check in their hives and they find there is no honey, but there is combs, usually they throw away the combs. But this is an opportunity for them to say, no, these combs, we can still extract them into beeswax and use this beeswax to add value. Make shoe polish for ourselves and sell. We make lotion and jelly, and also make these beeswax candles that are very profitable and marketable. You can imagine, like that candle you are seeing is 10,000 on the market. And all this has been wasted because beekeepers couldn't extract the beeswax. So that is why we are trying to create opportunity for them to be able to know how to add value on these value-added products. And we haven't stopped there alone. we have created a one-stop center shop for all beekeepers in Uganda. It's a one-stop center where these beekeepers will directly access the market. They take their honey directly to the one-stop center, the beeswax, the beesuit, everything they are producing, so that they access high end market, which has not been the case. So that's why we are organizing such a kind of trainings, and we are doing it all over. As I talk, we are doing the same in refugee camp now in VP. We are doing the same in Mbarara now on Market Street, and we are doing the same in Karamoja, because we want to make this honey value chain a must-do enterprise, and also ensure it absorbs these very many youth and women. First of all, it doesn't cost a lot of money to invest in beekeeping or in any activity along the honey value chain. As you can see, somebody with a tailoring machine and the cloth, you can say about 500,000, can start this business, and the following day start selling and getting money. You can see with these woods where the timber, where they are making a hive, you can invest in 50,000 and be able to make a hive that you are selling at 100,000. So we want the youth to be skilled and have work to do. That's why we are supporting, we are in agreement with Skilling Uganda, because this project implemented by PSFU is also helping us to reach very many youths in Uganda, and we are very happy with that initiative. However, we still have problems with the government as well, especially on taxation, because you see, apiculture or beekeeping is also an agricultural enterprise. But if you want to import any equipment that we are using in the beekeeping sector, it attracts a lot of tax, making it very hard for our farmers to add value to the products. Because if you want, for example, a honey extractor, you want, for example, honey settling tank, all those processing machinery that we use, they impose a lot of tax. Similarly, like on the packaging materials, most of the packaging materials, we get them from outside the country, and when they come here, they attract import tax, excise duty, and very many other taxes involved. So it makes it, for example, if you want to compete with a Kenyan packer who is buying honey in Uganda, he will outcompete you. Because when you're exporting honey, it is zero rated, and when he finishes that honey, when he finishes packing that honey in Kenya and brings it back to Uganda, it will just attract import duty. So that means, for me, who has imported the packaging material, and I incurred a lot of tax on packaging materials, and I have packed in the same packaging material, and I want to compete with that same person, my prices will be higher because the cost of transaction will be high. So we are requesting government to completely exempt the taxes from apiculture equipment. So that has been our biggest cry. Another cry that we have at the sector is that the sector, up until now, we do not have anything like policy, which should be a guiding document that can help us and show us how the sector is going to grow. Also, we have pesticide, misuse of pesticides. We are not saying that people should not use improved agronomic practices, but we are saying, look, one of the most important role the bees play in the world is pollination services. I have not seen anybody who is responsible for pollinating the crops that we eat or for crops that we sell. For example, coffee, sunflower, watermelon, citrus, all these fruits, 80% of the crops grown in Uganda are pollinated by bees. So now, if we have misuse of agrochemicals and we kill bees, it means there will be no pollinators, and therefore the productivity per acreage will not be there, will not increase. No matter how much we may increase the agronomic practices, but if we don't take care of the bees, then we are very sure that there will be no increase in productivity. We have seen a lot of government programs, for example, where they are giving citrus fruits, that's very good. They are giving coffee, that's very good. But can I challenge any government official on who is going to pollinate the fruits, the crops they are giving out? If we don't put that into consideration, then it means that the vision of making every Ugandan earn 20 million.
My name is Fiona and I work as the program manager for TUNADO. TUNADO in full is the Uganda National Apiculture Development Organization. It is a membership organization that brings together all beekeepers in Uganda. We are a member-based organization, so anyone who is doing any business in beekeeping qualifies to be a member, whether you're keeping bees, whether you're processing bee products, whether you're making beekeeping equipment, or even training beekeeping, you are eligible to become a member. We are working in a sector that has been dominated by men because of the way we have been keeping bees. We have kept our bees extensively, hanging trees in hives, which women were not allowed to do. So right now we are trying to bring in more women and youth by bringing beehives at home, keeping them in an apiary, telling the youth to add value to bee products. So we are making beekeeping equipment. You can see we are making Beesuits, we are making smokers. There are things that women can do at home without even keeping bees, like making jelly, like making candles, like making shoe polish, even bee venom. So our job basically is to coordinate and promote the apiculture sector in Uganda and make sure that everyone involved in apiculture earns decently from it. And that is why we are focusing more on developing products out of it, doing more research, so that we no longer depend only on honey, but we are able to earn from so many other things that bees